Let's get right into it. For years, we all saw Amazon as the gold standard of customer obsession. But lately, that experience feels different. It feels like it's degrading. In this explainer, we're going to deconstruct the systemic failures that are pushing the world's biggest marketplace to what feels like a breaking point. You know the feeling, right? You search for something simple, and the first page is just a wall of sponsored junk you don't want. You find a product with thousands of perfect reviews, and something just feels off. These aren't just random glitches. They're symptoms of a deep structural problem. And these aren't just minor annoyances. Every single one of these points to a calculated decision made somewhere inside that company. The invasive ads, the sketchy reviews, the out-of-control returns fraud, believe it or not, they're all connected. So, let's start investigating the cause. Okay, so here's the dirty little secret, the inconvenient truth at the heart of all of this. Amazon's core retail business is barely profitable. I mean, despite its massive scale, the basic act of delivering one small package to your door is just fundamentally more expensive than how a traditional store like Walmart operates, where you're the one doing the last mile travel. So that degradation you're feeling, it is not an accident. It's a series of very deliberate choices. It's a reaction to a business model that you could argue was unsustainable from day one. To keep its dominance, Amazon had to find profit somewhere else, even if that meant sacrificing its original promise to you, the customer. To fix this massive profitability problem, Amazon didn't just tweak its retail machine. It bolted on an entirely new engine. And that engine, well, it's advertising. $60 billion. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's what they pulled in from ads just last year. This isn't some little side hustle anymore. It's an absolute behemoth that has completely changed the company's DNA. Amazon is now one of the biggest advertising companies on the planet. So the new power dynamic is crystal clear. The money coming in from ads now completely dwarfs the money they make from your Prime subscription. That membership fee you pay every year, it's not the main event anymore. Not by a long shot. And here it is. This is the smoking gun. According to an FTC report, Jeff Bezos himself made the argument that the profit from all those junk ads was worth the hit to the customer experience. This confirms it wasn't an unforeseen consequence. It was a calculated trade-off. It was company policy. It's simple, really. The business model has completely flipped. Amazon is still customer-obsessed, but the primary customer is no longer you. It's the advertisers. Your searches, your clicks, your shopping habits, that's the product now being sold. Now, this pivot to ads solves one massive problem, but it creates others. At the exact same time, Amazon is under unbelievable pressure to win the next great tech arms race, artificial intelligence. This is their second and, honestly, much, much riskier play. Over $70 billion. And that's just capital expenditure. That's the cash they spent on physical things like servers and GPUs. That number doesn't even count the insane salaries or R&D costs. It is a staggering amount of money to bet on a future that, let's be honest, isn't here yet. This table really visualizes the risk perfectly. If you spend $1 billion on commercial real estate, in 10 years, it's probably still worth about $1 billion, maybe more. But $1 billion on today's best GPUs, in 10 years, they're basically paperweights. They're practically worthless. This is an investment that melts away like an ice cube on a hot day, and that makes shareholders really, really nervous. So why? Why make such a terrifyingly risky bet on AI? Well, this brings us to the third critical pressure point. The company is, quite literally, running out of human beings to hire for its warehouses. The model is simply unsustainable. 150%. That is the annual churn rate for their warehouse and delivery staff. It's a number so outrageously high, it's almost hard to wrap your head around what that means for a business. Let me just translate that for you. A 150% turnover rate means that, on average, Amazon has to replace its entire warehouse workforce every 9 months. Think about that. At that pace, some analysts predict that within a decade, there will be no one left in the country to hire who hasn't already worked for and quit Amazon. And the fourth critical pressure point? It's the growing rebellion from the third-party sellers. You know, the actual businesses that fill the marketplace with products. They feel trapped in a system that's become increasingly hostile to them. I mean, these sellers are just caught in a system with massive flaws. Their legitimate quality products get thrown into the same bins as cheap counterfeits. They're the ones who have to eat the cost from rampant returns fraud, and then they get blamed for shipping delays and logistical problems that Amazon's own system created. All right, let's bring all these threads together. We've got an unprofitable retail model, a human labor pool that's draining away, and a marketplace of alienated sellers. The ad money helps patch the holes, but it doesn't fix the fundamental operational rot. And all of this forces Amazon into one final all-or-nothing strategy. See, that massive AI investment, it's not just some side project for the future. It's the company's perceived escape hatch from all of this. The ultimate dream is to automate everything, from the moment you click buy, to the warehouse, to the final delivery. It's a plan to solve their labor crisis and their profitability crisis in one single gigantic stroke. And this reveals the ultimate paradox in the whole strategy. The entire endgame hinges on replacing costly human labor with efficient automation. But if that vision is ever fully realized, it raises a profound, maybe even terrifying economic question. If AI takes all the jobs, who's going to be left with money to buy all the products?